Ladies and gentlemen, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Season 3 Reloaded drops tomorrow for Black Ops 6 and Warzone, and sticking to their usual schedule, Call of Duty has been dropping the patch notes for these major updates, the seasonal launches and the mid-season updates, about a day or two early, and that's exactly what we've got here today. We've actually already got the full patch notes for the multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone updates. So the 1.762 title update associated with Season 3 Reloaded should be going out for, I would imagine, a preload on like PlayStation and whatnot, either super late tonight or super early tomorrow morning. And then also on Battle.net already you can preload it. It's like 24 gigs or so there, so it's going to be a significant update. We've got the full patch notes to dive into here, so obviously we know all about the content at this point. We've seen the maps, the other reveals throughout the blog posts and everything here, some of the new modes coming as well, joint operations, a lot of 420 updates and like content, even though the season's launching in May. Seems a little off, but nonetheless that's what we've got going on. Obviously a couple of new weapons dropping, as we covered earlier on this week, a new perk and multiplayer, directed mode for Shattered Veil in zombies as well, and some new gameplay updates there, new field upgrade as well, a couple of new events coming throughout this half of the season. High Arts coming at launch, Blaze of Glory is starting I think on the 6th, I believe, so lots to look out for in the coming weeks as well. But first up here we have a few global updates, so this should apply to multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone alike where specified. First up, addressed an issue where slide to prone was not properly working with the hybrid and tap to slide settings. Been a really annoying bug since the start of season 3. Glad to see that that's been updated here. Weapons, so these changes apply to multiplayer and zombies. Obviously Warzone, when we jump over to that page, will have its own specific patch notes for weapons. Season 3 Reloaded weapon balancing is focused around the new Season 3 weapons, as well as some follow-up adjustments on the Goblin and TR2. We're also bringing some improvements to LMGs. As always, thanks for your feedback on weapons. So the Goblin, we're giving this a higher neck, upper torso, and arm multiplier to improve its 3-shot kill potential and its max range. We intentionally avoid using body multipliers on most weapons in BO6 to keep gunfights feeling consistent. In this case, we feel it's appropriate to reward accuracy on the Goblin, especially given the new damage profile in Season 3. So neck damage multiplier, upper torso multiplier, arm multiplier are all better now. On the Kilo, this is getting a small reduction to its max damage range. The base TTK is the same in the max damage range and mid damage range 1, but headshots are less effective there, so a slight nerf to the Kilo. On the AMAX, will now take one more headshot to reduce the TTK in the medium damage range. The TTK in the medium range with no headshots remains the same, but 3 headshots are required to reduce the TTK in that range, so slight damage reduction there. On SMGs, the C9, we're increasing the damage ranges and reducing the recoil penalty on the 10mm 30 round mags. We're also increasing the damage in the mid damage range 1 to allow a single headshot to reduce the TTK. The goal is to make this a viable mid-range option for the C9, so that's just a range buff and a slight damage buff on the 10mm ammo in specific there. Then the recoil is also going to be easier on it too. I imagine we'll probably see a similar update in Warzone. We'll find out here shortly. On the SOG, the drop time it takes for the weapon to go off the screen was longer than intended, so that's been updated there. On the ASG, in the Season 3 update, we made some changes to this to reduce cases where you accidentally cue an additional shot when you spam the trigger. The implementation caused some unintended reduction to the effectiveness of rapid fire, so they fixed that. LMGs in Black Ops 6 have a very short delay before they can fire, also known as a pre-fire delay. The delay is one of the few factors that limit their effectiveness, so now with LMG fast mag attachments, they'll reduce that pre-fire delay, which improves the responsiveness of those builds. So they did that on the PU-21. The XMG, the GPMG, does not have fast mags to improve its pre-fire delay, but it's receiving a small buff to its headshot multiplier. It'll now only take 2 headshots to reduce that TTK, or just 1 with the CHF barrel. And then the Fang also got that pre-fire delay reduction as well. On the SWAT here, the Grau conversion for the SWAT has been performing significantly ahead of other weapons in multiplayer. We want to preserve the gameplay feel of this weapon's conversion as much as possible, so for now we're reducing its max damage to slow down the base TTK in that max range. However, it will only require 1 more headshot in this range to improve the TTK, so slight damage nerf to the Grau in multiplayer. On the Sarkov, like the ASG, rapid fire here has an unintended nerf, so they went through and they fixed that. TR2, overall, we're happy with the state of this. We think we can still see another significant adjustment to help it fully shine, so we're giving it better recoil, so the recoil strength there is not going to be as harsh. On the HDR, we've seen a lot of feedback about the HDR feeling weak in multiplayer. As with all the Season 3 weapons, our primary goal was to be as true to the original feel of the HDR as possible, but this does present some challenges. We opted to maintain the HDR's great handling and limit the one-shot potential to the upper torso and above. Based on your feedback, we are going to be increasing the damage on the HDR. The new damage profile matches the Frost line, so the damage is up, the range is going to be a little bit nerfed up close though, and then over the longer ranges, the range is even better, but the damage is slightly worse there. So if you like the Frost line, the HDR is now a great complement to that basically. The nail gun, they also fixed the centering issue with the ADS on that. Then on the Cali sticks, they fixed the drop time there too. We then shift into the multiplayer specific patch notes here. On dealership, they addressed an issue where the box truck door was inadvertently closed. A couple of mode updates for headquarters and then also in control. Perks and wildcards addressed an issue where a score streak weapon would be stowed after performing a melee with the close shave perk. Addressed an issue with the assault pack not replenishing launcher ammo with the fly swatter wildcard. They fixed an issue where explosive damage can be dealt through surfaces. That was a big one in multiplayer. Reduced the score earned from chopper gunner elims by half basically there. Addressed an issue that was causing Prestige 10 icon to display for players who had just reached Master Prestige, and Prestige Master levels now display in orange in the kill cam, best play, and the scoreboard. An update for camos, counter displaying gold camo progress towards diamond has been added in the camo hub for each weapon class. That's solid there. Mastery badges can now be tracked via the challenge tracking system. Up to 10 mastery badges can be tracked. You love to hear that. Just makes it easier to, go after that stuff if you're going for completionist stuff. Challenges and medals address an issue where you can get a wallbang medal if you did it to a teammate, which is not intended there. Address an issue where the bomb squad medal was not properly awarded. Party size warnings have been added there if you are in an incompatible playlist. Ranked play, rejoin. Players will be able to rejoin Black Ops 6 ranked play matches if they disconnect after it started. They also added ranked play combat records, and you already know they addressed various stability issues, baby. We love to see that. We don't know what they addressed or what is more stable now, but something is more stable. We then get into the zombies updates here. For the sake of time here, if you want to read their very, very specific updates for all these Shattered Veil fixes here, feel free to go through, pause the video. They got a lot going on in general, some fixes in regards to the main quest and some bugs that were going on with that, a few specific weapon updates, enemy-based updates, and then also some updates for the final encounter. Like I said, it's a lot of very niche, very specific stuff, so to avoid this being a 45-minute video of just zombies fixes, feel free to pause the video if you want. A couple of small updates on Terminus and Liberty Falls as well. Citadel Day more directed mode also got a slight update there, fixing some issues, and the Tomb got a couple of slight updates too. For weapons, they added the base version of the Ray Gun Mark II to all the mystery box weapon pools. Addressed an issue where loading a save would re-enable pack-a-punch camos if you turned those off. Then also an issue where removing attachments from a weapon blueprint that is set as a zombies build would not actually remove those attachments in game. They addressed an issue allowing players to duplicate perks, and then also updated double tap a little bit there. Stim Shot, they removed the recharges on a cooldown text. On Tesla Storm, they fixed an issue here with the augments. For support, Death Machine addressed an issue where loading a save would not retain the correct ammo in that. Mangler Cannon addressed an issue where swapping out that for the support group Gobblegum for a different score streak and packing it up would reduce the ammo. Super niche issue, of course. LDBR addressed an issue with that with the airspace too crowded. The mutant injection fixed an invulnerability exploit as well. Gobblegum's got a couple of updates here, reducing the machine cooldown, which is solid. Sped up the Gobblegum machine activation sequence, addressed an issue that would prevent you from using some. Then also addressed an issue that could prevent the crate power Gobblegum from applying, and an issue with that actually functioning properly to begin with. With loot here, they addressed an issue where self-revive could not be equipped directly from the SAM trial reward. With UI updates, addressed an issue with the track next camo text, an issue that would prevent equipped ammo mods from displaying, an issue that could prevent the exfil timer from appearing, and also various issues that occurred in loadouts when you prestiged. With graphics here, addressed an issue when reloading the game over the CR56 AMAX blueprint while in Ether Shroud could cause a floating weapon to appear. Addressed an issue where enduring Radiance Augment for healing aura field upgrade would result in blown out effects, and then also an issue on PlayStation 4. With audio, a couple of audio updates for Shattered Veil, and yet again, various stability fixes. You love to see it, folks. Now let's jump over to the Warzone patch notes. So quick reminder as we go through all the Warzone changes and updates here, if you enjoy the video, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to guarantee that on a daily basis, you're always in the know for everything going on in COD, this is the place to be. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, and help get us one step closer to reaching 1 million subscribers. Of course, we again know all about the global updates here with some of the new events happening. We've got the train station area area now accessible on Verdansk. The moving train is also here. Vertical ascenders. This wasn't originally talked about in the blog yesterday. So ascenders have been reintroduced across Verdansk, matching their placement in the original Season 5 update and current plunder layout. Vertical ascenders provide new traversal and engagement options across familiar power positions. We'll continue monitoring combat flow and weapon performance to determine if adjustments are needed, whether that means removing unnecessary ascenders or adding them to areas that remain difficult to access. So ascenders, this is just for buildings. This is not balloons or redeploy drones or anything. It's just for going up the sides of buildings. I think that's a good update overall. A couple of new modes. High Trip Resurgence, it's going to be available on Verdansk in quads. And then also Massive Resurgence will be available for quads on Verdansk as well. We got our playlist update. So this is lasting all the way to the 15th. Battle Royale, solos, duos, and quads. No base trios though. Resurgence on Rebirth has all squad sizes. Plunder quads on Verdansk. Ranked trios on Verdansk. And then High Trip and Battle Royale casual quads on Verdansk as well. Ranked play obviously dropping into Verdansk for the very first time ever. It's going to be relatively standard ranked play from what you've been playing the past couple of years if you're big into this. New SR values to maintain the overall pacing and progression of the ranked ecosystem. We've tuned the SR values to better reflect the larger map. Season 3's changes to gameplay as well as the general game economy. The overall outcome of this tuning is such that your progress through rank should be very similar in terms of time investment, with slightly higher difficulties in the very top ends. There's also some restriction adjustments. We're mirroring the ban on Bandolier and the Ammo Satchel and disabled known perks that are counter to the goals that we want to facilitate within ranked. So that'll be standard there. Unlocking ranked play. In order to access this mode, you must place amongst the top squads in at least 20 normal matches there, which is defined as the top 6 teams in Resurgence or the top 15 in Battle Royale. You can't play casual or boot camp to actually get that qualification up there. They go through some of the restrictions. Of course, it's ranked play. Like I said, if you've been playing it the past couple of seasons, you know all about this. It's not too crazy. It's just being added in on Verdansk. The rewards are kind of underwhelming, I would say, this season. Unfortunately, they break down the different divisions and everything. Loot and economy. Updated ground loot. Ground loot weapons have been revised to better align with each weapon's core role. Certain weapon builds have been added or removed, which is nice. Some new balance from some freshness there. Slight adjustments have been made to the weapon class distribution as well. Reduction to snipers and pistols in ground loot. I love to hear that. High value loot zones are coming, so you can drop into these and get better loot off spawn. Just going to, mix up some of the hot drops on the map there, basically. Movement speed while plating and while inserting armor plates has been standardized. Whether using the normal animation or the one-handed one by quick fix, your movement speeds will now align with the weapon you had equipped when you began plating, so that's solid there. Equipment, drill charge, the radius has been increased, the explosion radius, and then also the damage on the inner and outer explosions has been buffed, so drill charges are stronger now. C4, the middle to inner explosion radius was also increased, the damage was increased, slight increase to the speed at which you can detonate it, and slight adjustments to the throw velocity. These changes are designed to reward accurate throws and improve responsiveness. Spring mine inner damage reduced, thank goodness. I love to hear that. The mines are everywhere. So are the blast traps. Increase the detonation delay a little bit there. Stim shots speed increase reduced by almost half there, from 15% to 8%. The stim's primary purpose is health regen, not movement, basically. So in recent updates, its speed boost began to overshadow its healing function, so they nerfed that a little bit there. Experimental gas also no longer deals tick damage. On contracts, returning big game bounty is back, so that'll highlight the person with the most kills in the match, and you can go hunt them down. Get sent to the gulag real quick. The supply run contract, squad mates who are dead at the time that this is completed also get the fire sale rewards now. That's a great fix there. With kill streaks, the sentry effective range has been increased by double. The minor increase to the max turn speed has been applied. Lifetime increased by 10 seconds and then also increased the max damage there. Bunker Buster, they actually reduced the explosive inner damage and then also removed the damage from the gas. UAV audible callout on activation of a UAV for enemies has been tightened up with the UX indicator, which is the red box around your minimap. Previously, the callout was designed to alert players that a UAV had been activated nearby, regardless of if you were in that radius. Now, though, it's only going to pop that audio if you're in the radius. With perks low profile, they actually increase the crouch and prone movement speed. Bomb Squad has a better damage reduction now. Survivor health regen delay is actually a second slower, so that makes Survivor a little bit worse there. I'm probably still going to be running it. Reactive armor, the regen speed was increased. That's actually big there. Reactive armor might be more useful now because of that. Tracker outlines have been refined with thinner lines to improve visual clarity. So the red line when you shoot somebody will be less thick now. Weapon updates here, obviously a couple of new weapons. We'll be talking about them in the next few days. AK-74, headshot multiplier nerf, lower torso multiplier nerf, sprint to fire nerf, ADS speed nerf, ADS strafe nerfed. So that's going to make it a little bit less effective in the close range, but its actual damage in the close range outside of the multipliers is still going to be the same as before. So if you can build this with a speedy loadout, it's probably still going to be very good up close. AMAX reload speed increased to align with other rifles. Flip mag was also adjusted with 5 extra rounds. Kilo reload speed increased as well. Bal 27 MW3 close range damage. Okay, that's getting a buff there, but it got worse range over range. It also had its visual recoil reduced, but the Bal should be a little bit better now. Holger, damage buff across the board, range nerf. We're starting to see the similar damage buffs to that of the Black Ops 6 guns at the start of Season 3. That's huge there. Velocity buff, sprint to fire speed buff, headshot multiplier nerf, lower torso nerf, visual recoil reduced. Also, it's got a 50 round mag now. Ooh, the Holger. The Holger could be a good option here. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. M4 gets buffs across the board, better damage and better range. Love that. Better recoil, and then upper torso multiplier nerfed, but velocity buffed. TAC 56 damage buffs and range buffs, velocity buff, recoil buff as well. C9, better recoil on the 10mm 30 round, but not super practical. Still, the base mag's just better there. The SOG drop time has been fixed there. The HRM has worse range, but better damage now. That could be interesting for a mobility build. Damage range 2 has been removed, and then also lower torso multiplier nerfed. Wasp 9, better damage and range. That's solid there. Sprint to fire, however, has been slowed quite a bit. Headshot multiplier nerf, and then torso multiplier nerf. Better recoil, though. MX9, better damage and better range. It actually has a 50 round extended mag now, so that's solid there. Velocity buff, sprint to fire nerf, and then also torso nerfs as well. The PDSW, better damage, mostly better range here, except for its minimum damage range that was actually nerfed. Velocity is now actually nerfed as well. ADS speed was improved. Headshot multiplier buff, lower torso multiplier nerf, better recoil. ASG, they fixed the rate of fire there with rapid fire. The Marine SP damage in the mid-range and long range has actually been buffed. Each damage value is per pellet, and the headshot on these slugs is now better. Lockwood 680, slightly better range across the board as well. Damage value adjustment, each damage value is per pellet. Then in general here with LMGs, all Black Ops 6 belt-fed magazines have their max ammo reduced from 500 to 210. And then basically the pre-fire delay has been reduced on the Fang, the PU-21, the XMG. Pulemyot gets better range and better damage. That's solid there. Headshot multiplier buff, lower torso multiplier nerf. Pulemyot could be decent for sure. Eradicator, really like the feel of this. Better range, better damage as well. ADS is worse. Headshot multiplier is worse. Lower torso multiplier is worse. RAL, better damage up close, but worse range. So that's an actually really interesting change because you're not using the RAL up close at all. I feel like that's not going to be super relevant. Headshot multiplier nerfed, lower torso buffed, and then recoil reduced. Sakin, damage buff, and then range nerfed across the board. Headshot multiplier nerfed, torso nerf, visual recoil reduced. A lot of MW2, MW3 updates here. All non-bolt action marksman rifles in MW2, MW3, and BO6 use rifle ammo. That's a W. I love to hear that. AEK, better damage, better range. That's on the burst version of it though, so not super relevant. Maybe that's going to make it crazy good because that is actually a significant damage buff, but the full auto mod has been better previously for what it's worth. DM10 gets a range buff across the board, better velocity, better ADS, better flinch, inflicted flinch to enemies increase there. Received flinch is also nerfed, so that's interesting. We've got the SWAT 5, I guess that's actually a buff if the flinch is decreased there. SWAT 556, this is on the base version of the weapon, just has better damage and better range. The growl doesn't get adjusted here. Bullet velocity buffed, and then also on rapid fire, the damage penalty was decreased, as was the velocity penalty. TR2 close range damage is nerfed, but long range damage is buffed. This becomes better as a sniper counter over long range. That's their goal with that. Velocity buff, lower torso multiplier buff, headshot buff, then also a flinch buff as well. View kick is also been improved significantly, they say. Zarkov, better damage and better range. This thing still feels like trash though. Like just shooting it, the fire rate is not good. Not a fan of this thing at all. HDR. ADS speed slowed by a decent amount there. It'll be more in line with like the LR762, but no changes to its damage. It'll still have that infinite one-shot range and great velocity there. The Imperium gets better range and better damage over long range. ADS speed was also buffed there. Cali stick drop time was updated too. They've also adjusted some of the gulags now, just what you're able to play with in the gulag. There will be some Krigs, KSVs, C9s, then various different attachments depending on which circle you go into. They've also updated some of the default loadouts. If you want to pause and read the specifics on that, if you're using the game created classes instead of your own custom ones, feel free to do so. That's a lot of added text for sure. Operators, you can now mark an operator as a favorite. That's cool. Random operator selection, you can also do that now. If favorites are set, players have the option to randomize exclusively among their favorites. Random skin selection, with each operator's customization menu, players can enable a random skin. Each time an operator is selected, a different owned skin will be applied. UI updates, loadout marker icon, a blue loadout drop icon will now appear in the squad widget if you have enough money to buy it, so just makes it doing math easier there. You don't have to add it up yourself, the game will just tell you. Damage closes buy station menu setting. Players can now toggle whether the buy station menu automatically closes when you take damage. That could actually be pretty convenient if you want that to happen. If you don't want that to happen, keep that off, because if you're content with taking damage so long as it means you get your teammates back, obviously you're going to want that instead. They also added a kill feed duration setting, so you can adjust that as well. General adjustment updates. Filter for Modern Warfare weapons. An improved attachment filtering system has been added for MW weapons. This enhancement introduces category-specific filters to streamline the attachment selection process. Death recap widget. It'll now tell you if you've been affected by a heartbeat, body shield, resurgence mark, prox alarm, or most wanted, so you get more details in your kill cam there rather than just weapon ping or UAV or whatever, right? Nearby grenade notification. The grenade warning icon now slightly fades if the player is no longer in the direct line of that. Damage overlay opacity. The full screen red damage overlay triggered by armor damage has its opacity reduced. Double kill streak overwrite noti. When two enemy kill streaks are activated within 3 seconds of each other, the second notification will now interrupt and replace the first. This ensures both are delivered promptly and players can react appropriately. Then death skull icon, it's been adjusted to more appropriately scale with distance. This change builds on an earlier update that added the skull icon to help players identify where they died. Vehicles, we got the new dirt bike or motorcycle now available in Verdansk. The heli adjusted the weight class from medium light to light. This adjusts how explosive launchers interact. So launchers like the Joker are a one hit, grenades including C4 are a one hit, traps are a one hit, and it takes a thermite 10 ticks. Heli passenger view angles, players can now look around with more freedom than before. I like that. Hopefully that's going to be easier to see straight down. Vehicles, revised and rebalanced the volume of vehicle engines, suspensions, chassis, tires, water, so on and so forth. Challenge updates here. Removed unavailable daily challenges. Solid. Sticker book challenge fixes. Improved filtering to ensure all sticker book challenges are now progressible and ranked. Armory unlock update. Added the Jack Devastator as an armory challenge unlock. If you don't have that yet, you can now go through and unlock that. They adjusted some of these sticker book challenges here. If you want to read these specifics, again, feel free to go ahead and pause the video. And then a couple of bug fixes here that we will speed run. Fixed. An issue where scavenger bags can be picked up by other players other than the intended recipient. An issue where scavenger did not give you the correct ammo. An issue where ghost was applying default values instead of the intended configuration. An issue where ghost's perk grace period was not correctly set to 3 seconds. An issue that required movement speed for ghost activation was not being correctly set. An issue while using bomb squad where all explosives were incorrectly capped at 150 damage. Audio fixed the headshot kill indicator sounding higher pitched than intended. Fixed classic hit markers being quieter than intended. And then miscellaneous. Goodness, we've got a lot here. An issue where the thermite's tick rate could be significantly faster than intended. An issue where gulag notice for a squad mate entering or leaving did not play. They fixed the MX Guardian Dragon's Breath ammo. An issue causing unintended burst or of velocity when exiting an ascender. An issue where jumping onto a ladder could trigger an unintended burst of velocity. An issue where opening the scoreboard during exfil could cause loss of user interface. An issue where scavenger didn't give you the correct reserve ammo. An issue where gas visual effects could appear in plunder before the event was active. An issue where weapon loot cards sometimes appeared off center. An issue with the outline on legendary supply crates disappearing. An issue where item pings from squad mates would not appear after closing a buy. An issue where players could become stuck on a black screen in the winner's circle. An issue where the trophy system was missing its idle sound effects. An issue where target dummies in the firing range could become stuck. An issue where the speed boost from Resolute would not be properly removed. And then also, that was kind of crazy if that happened. An issue that caused the gas mask icon in the squad widget to disappear. So solid gameplay updates. I'm very curious to see how the meta is going to play now with some of those buffs to MW2 and MW3 guns and some slight adjustments to some BO6 ones. But That's everything that ended up changing in the Season 3 Reloaded patch notes. Full update goes live tomorrow. We'll obviously be covering the new meta, everything that's changing, the new weapons. Be sure to stay tuned for all of that by hitting that subscribe button and turning on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.